Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. I have really exciting news to share for you all. According to Yale Medicine, studies have shown that teenagers are more reluctant to smoke cigarettes than teenagers 30 years ago would. That's great news to hear because socially we battled this teenage cigarette epidemic for years. But before we pat ourselves on the back, we need to acknowledge that our society has transformed into having a vape epidemic. To put all of us on the same page, a vape is a device that heats up a liquid, which almost always contains nicotine, to a temperature that is so hot that it becomes a vapor. Then people inhale the vapor. I've personally never vaped before, but by being around people who choose to do so, I've noticed that people are naive to the effects that it has on their bodies. Despite vaping companies denying that they're marketing their products towards adolescents, teenagers and young adults are its most popular users. Regardless of the assumption that vapes are healthy, people still don't understand that the copious amount of negative effects on users. Vape juices contain nicotine, a highly addictive drug. People under the age of 25 are much more susceptible to developing an addiction to nicotine because their brains are still maturing. Nicotine has a substantial effect on our brain development, especially in our prefrontal cortex, which controls our impulses, emotions, and decisions. According to Business Insider, people who vape, specifically with a Juul, can receive twice the nicotine concentration of cigarettes. While people like to claim that vaping contains less harmful chemicals than cigarettes do, they often fail to acknowledge the harsh chemicals they ingest that have the same or similar effects of cigarettes. Vapes contain lead, higher rates of formaldehyde, heavy metals, and even more unpronounceable chemicals. According to Scientific American, the levels of formaldehyde found in vapes is much higher than what is found in traditional combustible cigarettes. Tony Clark goes on to say that people who vape are 5 times more likely to develop a formaldehyde-related cancer than cigarette smokers. The reason that vaping has become so big so fast was caused by their marketing strategies and what they told consumers. When vapes were first introduced to the market in 2007, they were pitched as a tool to help cigarette smokers quit. The National Cancer Institute claimed that there is over 7,000 harmful chemicals in cigarettes, while vapes contain fewer, thus making it a healthier alternative. However, the word healthier should be used loosely because both cigarettes and vape juices contain nicotine. The discussion shifted from inhalation of chemicals isn't safe to this is a safer alternative, and it overshadowed the true consequences of vaping. Nowadays, the unadmitted target market is directed towards young adults and teenagers. We assume that because vape companies have released appealing and tasty vape juices, that they want to become a product people want to experiment with and not a product people want to eventually quit. The University of North Carolina conducted a study to see if flavors of vape juice made people think that the product was safe or not. The study concluded that both tobacco and non-tobacco users viewed that flavors were more appealing and stated that it's one of the main reasons that youth will vape. Luckily for us, a possible solution to help reduce the appeal of vaping in adolescents has just started. In September, the Food and Drug Administration gave 5 large vape manufacturing companies 60 days to formulate a plan that would help prevent youth vaping. In addition to that, the FDA targeted over 13,000 retailers with warning about selling tobacco products to minors. After receiving much backlash, Juul Labs announced that it would pull their flavor pods from retail stores and discontinue their social media presence in order to stop appealing to youths. This decision should help wean out the people who vape for the taste and the people who vape for the nicotine. Vaping has truly become an epidemic for our youth. The society needs to educate its effects of vaping. While vaping is the lesser of two evils when it comes to cigarettes versus vaping, that doesn't make the effects of vaping any less serious, and it's time that people understand what they are inhaling into their bodies.
Thank you for that.